إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يقول الله تعالى في القرآن الحكيم بعد أن أقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد, we begin in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Allah with an abundant praise. We glorify Allah. We look at the infinite blessings that Allah continues to shower upon us. The blessing of guidance, the blessing of afiyah, just afiyah, well-being, physical well-being. The rizq that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us, you know, having safety and well-being in our body, having safety and security in society, having rizq right now for lunch. If you want to have the most diverse, exotic cuisine, you can have it within a short drive. There's a restaurant, Chinese food, Mexican food, Desi food, Arab food, it's all there. You know, you go to the supermarket, it's just busting at the seams with different types of fruits and vegetables, however much you want. As Allah says, the rizq comes from all over the world. And higher than the physical blessings is the social blessings that Allah gives us in our life. Allah gives us the blessing of friends, of parents, siblings, children, spouses, best friends, people who we love to hang out with and they give us a good time. That's a rizq from Allah. There are people in convalescent homes who have complete social deprivation. People don't visit them. Could you imagine having social deprivation? So the people that we have in our life, grandchildren, people who bring a smile to us that we love to laugh with, that's a rizq from Allah. Higher, so your physical blessings, social blessings, higher than both is spiritual blessings. The blessing of guidance, about understanding our purpose in life, the blessing of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What an immense blessing that we can taste the worship of Allah. Could you imagine a lifetime without worshipping Allah? You know, Allah is a blessing on top of blessing on top of blessing, and we reciprocate with gratitude. Allahumma laka alhamdu hatta tarda wa laka alhamdu idha radita wa laka alhamdu ba'da rida. Alhamdulillah hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fihi. Alhamdulillah hamdan yuwaf ni'matah mazida. Ya Rabbi laka alhamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhika wa li 'azimi sultanik. Even about the blessing of spirituality, Allah puts a dua of gratitude in the Quran. Allah says, say, Alhamdulillah ladhi hadana li hadha wa ma kunna linahtadiya lawla an hadana Allah. Praise be to Allah who has guided us to this, that on Jummah we're coming here to worship Allah. And had it not been that Allah had guided us to this, we would not have been here, you know. What I wanted to make this khutbah about is this, you know, looking at the parallel two prophets in the Quran. The Prophet Musa alayhi salam and the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. These two prophets, their lives are very amazing, that they're almost reflective of one another. One of these prophets brings Bani Israel into Egypt, Yusuf alayhi salam. The other prophet takes Bani Israel out of Egypt, Musa alayhi salam. Both of these prophets were raised in a palace in Egypt. Both of these prophets at one point, it was said to them, Asa an yanfa'ana aw natakhidahu walada. Both of these prophets at one point they spent time in isolation. Musa alayhi salam in Madian, Yusuf alayhi salam in prison. You know, one of these prophets, only his father is mentioned in the Quran, Yusuf alayhi salam. One of these prophets, only his mother is mentioned in the Quran, Musa alayhi salam. One of these prophets, his whole story is in one place in the Quran, Yusuf. The other prophet, his whole story is scattered all over the Quran, Musa alayhi salam. It's so beautiful. But what I wanted to talk about is this concept of doing good deeds. You know, in this world, there's two types of good deeds that you can do. One is dunyawi good deed, a dunyawi helping something dunyawi wise. If you look at these two prophets, Allah shows us the whole spectrum of doing good to them through these two prophets. Yusuf alayhi salam, at one point, he helps Egypt. He does a 15-year project by helping them from hunger and starvation, right? How do you know it's 15 years? Because it's 7 years of prosperity, plus 7 years of famine, plus 1 year of prosperity, that's 15 years. And he single-handedly protected the whole country from starvation and and dehydration and death and all that. Could you imagine? And at that time, that was the most powerful civilization in the world. So you could almost say he saved almost 1/3 of the known world from hunger. Could you imagine if you can meet Allah on the Day of Judgment and say, I didn't do like a local food project, but I helped the whole country from I did a 15-year project. That's amazing. Look at Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam, when he arrives to Madian, there's two women who have their sheep, and he goes up to them and says, what's going on? And they say, well, the shepherds are all crowding the water source, and we can't go and push our way through, so we have to wait here, and our father's an old man, right? Musa alayhi salam takes their buckets, he goes, fills it up with water, he comes and gives the sheep water. That story, you might be like, how long does that take to go fill up a bucket with water in then maybe 15 minutes? What's amazing is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now for us, if I gave you the choice, which one would you want to have in your record on the day of judgment? So I'll take Yusuf alayhi salam, 15-year project, you know? But what's amazing is this simple story of Musa alayhi salam giving the sheep water, Allah puts that in the Quran too. And it wasn't just some regular person, it was a Nabi of Allah, Musa alayhi salam, who did it. So Allah is showing us the whole spectrum of doing good deeds. Whether you can do a 15-year project and save the whole country from starvation, good, do it. Yusuf did that. Or whether you can do a whole project and 15 minutes he didn't even give water to human beings, he gave water to some sheep. And Allah put that in the Quran for us to read until Yawm al-Qiyamah, because there's a lesson to learn. Don't belittle any good deed. Any good deed is good. Now, what's amazing, what I actually wanted to make the focus of this khutbah is the next paradigm. You can help a human being a dunyawi wise. You know, when Yusuf helped the king of Egypt, he took the help. And when the women asked for the help, they took the help, right? The next type of help is even better than both. And that's spiritual help, guidance. It's called da'wah in Islam. When you share the message of Islam with people. And for this, Allah flipped it. You see this one, Yusuf did the big project and Musa did the small project. Now Allah flipped it. When it comes to da'wah, Musa alayhi salam went to Fir'aun and he did da'wah to him. Imagine that you go to the most, politically speaking, the most powerful man in the world, and you go and deliver the message of Islam to him. And you just came from Madian and he said, yeah, Fir'aun had in his big giant palace with all his associates there, with Haman there and all these associates, and he's sitting on his throne, and Musa, here he comes. Oh, Fir'aun, I have a message to you that you need to believe in Allah, you know, and you need to believe in the Day of Judgment. And he goes on and on. Fir'aun said, who is this Lord, you know? And Musa continues to da'wah with him and continues. The whole story of Musa with Fir'aun is not one of, let me help you with your economics of Fir'aun, let me help you with it. No, it's, I have something very serious to tell you, and that's you need to believe in Allah and His Messenger, you know? And he comes to Musa and how to deliver this message. Now, this is, so Allah, and this is literally equivalent to us. Imagine if I say, you guys, I just came back from the White House, I was in the Oval Office, Joe Biden was there, and the Vice President and all the cabinet members, and I did the message of Islam to Joe Biden. You know, it's like, whoa, you went to the most powerful man in the world, politically speaking, and you delivered the message of Islam to him? That's impressive. But then Allah shows us through Yusuf alayhi salam the simpler version of da'wah. Yusuf alayhi salam, when he's in prison, the two cellmates come up to him, they say, oh, we had these dreams, can you give us an interpretation? Yusuf says, yeah, I'll give you the interpretation before the next meal comes, but I have something more important to tell you. And he starts to do da'wah to them. He says, إِنِّي تَرَكْتُ مِلَّةَ قَوْمٍ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَهُمْ بِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ كَافِرُونَ. I have left the religion of these people who don't believe in Allah and they don't believe in the last day. وَاتَّبَعْتُ مِلَّةَ آبَائِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ. And I follow the path of my fathers, Ibrahim, Ishaq, and Yaqub. And he just starts to do da'wah to them. And you know what's amazing? Who are these people who he's doing da'wah to? Is it Fir'aun, the most powerful? No. These are prisoners. Prisoners are like the lowest rung of the social hierarchy. These are people who not only are they unknown, they don't even have freedom. And they could have even been criminals. Why are they in prison? They could have been criminals, like some gangster thugs. And a Nabi of Allah, Yusuf does da'wah to them. Allah is teaching us something powerful, that whether you have the opportunity, like Musa salam, to do da'wah to the most powerful man in the world, or to just some prisoners in a cellmate in a cell, do it to them. And you know what's amazing? Yusuf salam, his own life was very difficult. He was separated from his family. He was sold into slavery in Egypt. He was wrongly accused of a crime. So in other words, his reputation gets tarnished in society because he's thrown into prison. You know, they falsely accused him. He's in prison. He doesn't have any freedom. The word shukr is only mentioned once in Surah Yusuf, and it's when Yusuf salam, he does da'wah, and he says, this is the fadl of Allah upon us and upon mankind, but most of mankind is not grateful. So Yusuf is teaching the most precious thing that you can associate yourself with is your relationship with Allah, is your Islam. And he's like, I have something very special to share with you. And he just starts to deliver the message of Islam to them. That is so powerful. You know, to have this eagerness to deliver the message of Islam. And Allah is showing us, don't ever belittle it. You know, there's the whole social hierarchy, whether it's the most powerful man or some prisoners. And imagine Yusuf, he's in a prison with some cellmates, they might have committed some crimes. He's like, at this point, I just care about myself. I need to take care of my life. I don't have time to deliver. No, he's like, I have a message to deliver to you about the message of Islam. And it's like a long passage where he does da'wah to him. So Allah's showing us, don't ever belittle it. That even if you have an opportunity to do da'wah to anybody, some guy at the street, a Nabi of Allah, Yusuf a.s. did da'wah to 2 cellmates. So you don't belittle it. And if you have the opportunity to be like Musa a.s. to deliver to Joe Biden, the most powerful man in the world, to do that too. So Allah is teaching us that this concept of da'wah is so important. And there's many ayats in the Quran when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati wal maw'izati hasana," call to the way of your Lord, bil hikmah wal maw'izati hasana. Even in the story of Yusuf, the conclusion at the end of the story, what is it? قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ. This is my path. I call to Allah with insight. أَنَا وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِ, me and those who follow me. Allah is teaching the Ummah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is our legacy too, that we call to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Da'wah is very important. And many other ayat, Allah says, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنَ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Who is better in speech than one who calls to Allah? And the hadith literature, the Prophet says, بَلِّغُ عَنِي وَلَوْ آيَةٍ. Convey this message of mine, even if you just put one verse. By the way, this hadith, بَلِّغُ عَنِي وَلَوْ آيَةٍ, the scholars say it has 3 components to it. It has taklif, tashrif, and takhfif. Taklif means burden, responsibility. Because when the Prophet says balighu, it's a fi'al amr, it's like a command. He says convey, it's a command. So this is the taklif, it's the responsibility side. Then comes the tashrif. Tashrif is honor. When he says me, from me. Who are we to deliver the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? But it's like, he says go ahead and do it. What an honor it is to convey anything from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to another human being. That's an incredible honor. And then there comes the takhfif, the ease. He says, walau ayah, even if it's just one ayah. Don't think that, this is just for the shaykh and I don't know anything, No, it's just for you too. Walau ayah. So may Allah make us of the inheritors of the prophets and have this heightened sense of, of calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I'll say one thing and I'll kind of end the first khutbah with this. Every Friday we read Surah Al-Kahf, right? Right at the beginning of Surah Al-Kahf, about 4 ayahs into it, is the concept of da'wah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعُ نَفْسَكَ عَلَىٰ آثَارِهِمْ إِن لَمْ يُؤْمِنُوا بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ أَسَفًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the Prophet, you are about to kill yourself out of grief because they're not following this message. Allah is telling us what's going on in the heart of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and He's saying, you are so eager that this message of Islam gets spread to the people of this earth that you're about to kill yourself because they're not following it. That's amazing. And what's so amazing about Surah Al-Kahf? The next 2 stories are also stories of da'wah. Ashab al-Kahf, who are they doing da'wah to? إِذْ قَامُوا فَقَالُوا رَبُّنَا رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ لَن نَّدْعُوَ مِن دُونِهِ إِلَٰهًا لَقَدْ قُلْنَا إِذًا شَطَطًا. When it's like group da'wah, the 7 youth, they're standing before a king and they're doing da'wah to him. And in the next story, the neighbor is doing da'wah to his neighbor. They're just talking, and then all of a sudden this guy starts to lose his faith. And then he steps in and he says, أَكَفَرْتَ بِالَّذِي خَلَقَكَ مِن تُرَابٍ ثُمَّ مِن نُطْفَةٍ ثُمَّ سَوَّاكَ رَجُلًا. But the point is that this eagerness, that Allah is telling us that this is what's going on in the heart of the Prophet ﷺ, this heightened eagerness to deliver the message of Islam to the people. Now we are the messengers of the Messenger ﷺ, So the question is, where is it in our consciousness about this heightened sense of doing da'wah? أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم وبارك وأنعم وأكرم على حبيبنا سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. So we were talking about the prophets of Allah, about their sense of doing da'wah, and Allah shows the whole spectrum. It's there, just do it, right? What's amazing? One of the other famous surahs in the Quran that everybody loves all the surahs in the Quran, but is Surah Yasin. And what is the essence of Surah Yasin? It's the story of when Allah sent the messengers to this town. Allah says, we sent 2 messengers and they were denied. فَعَزَّزْنَا بِثَالِثٍ. So then we sent a 3rd messenger to the people. And the people denied the 3rd messenger too. Now you might be like, there's the conclusion of the story. So 2 messengers were sent, they were denied. Allah says, فَعَزَّزْنَا. So we strengthened them with a 3rd messenger. and collectively they were still denied. So that's the end of the story. They're denied the messengers. But no, that's not how the story ends. Allah says, وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ يَسْعَى قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اتَّبِعُوا الْمُرْسَلِينَ اتَّبِعُوا مَا لَا يَسْأَلُكُمْ أَجْرًا وَهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ. And then from the furthest end of the town, this man came running. Yas'a, he was literally running. And he says, Ya layta, he says, oh my people, follow the messengers. He says, follow these people who they're not even asking you for wealth. You would think that they have some type of dunyawi interest in it. No, they're not even asking for wealth. And they are guided. And he goes on and on and on. You know what's amazing about this? Because Allah is shattering this one concept of, well, I don't know enough, you know. No, the religion is very simple. Hadith Jibreel, what is Islam? 5 pillars. What are the 6 articles of faith? Allah, the angels, the books, the messengers. It's very simple. If we're talking about a religion from Allah to all 8 billion people on the earth, it's got to be simple, and it is. So don't let shaitan step in and be like, well, you know, you don't know enough. So, because in this story, the messengers were sent to the people, they were denied, but another man said, I still have to do my part. Like imagine if in the city of Torrance we get like Zakir Naik and Mufti Mink and like Yasir Qadi come in here and they're doing da'wah to the people of Torrance, right? And you're sitting here as an observer, you're observing this, and then this is the people of Torrance collectively reject them, you know? At that moment, you're like, well, if they rejected them, then I guess I don't have to do my part. No. In Surah Yasin, Allah's teaching us this man, he's just, his title is just Rajul, man, min aqsa Medina, from the furthest end of the town. He came running. And Allah appreciates this heightened sense of, I need to do my part. And you know what's interesting? This man, look at how beautiful it is. Like that type of burning desire to share the message of Islam is in his heart to the point where they end up killing him. And Allah says, Qila dukhul al-jannah, enter paradise. While he's in paradise, you know what he's thinking about? He's like, oh, okay, now I'm in paradise. Look at the garden, oh, look at the trees, look at that, it's beautiful, it's wonderful. No, you know what he's thinking about? He's still thinking about da'wah. He says, قَالَ يَا لَيْتَ قَوْمِي يَعْلَمُونَ, I wish my people knew. بِمَا غَفَرَ لِرَبِّي وَجَعَلَنِي مِنَ الْمُكْرَمِينَ. He's still thinking about his people. And subhanAllah. You know, like that's the height. So, you know, this is, the Quran is teaching us over and over again, have that burning desire to share the message of Islam with people. And it's in Surah Al-Kahf when Allah tells us what's going on in the heart of the Prophet ﷺ. It's in Surah Yasin when Allah is showing us that this man, you know what's also interesting about Surah Yasin? The 3 messengers, their dialogue is shorter than this man's dialogue. Because it's like the second page of Surah Yasin, the top half is basically the dialogue of the 3 messengers. And then like almost 2/3 of the next page is the dialogue of this one man. Allah records his speech. Why? Because in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's the effort that counts. Allah says in the Quran, وَأَلَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. You know, Allah says, and isn't it that mankind will have what he strives for? You see, in this world, you guys, success is measured by outcome, right? So like if you're applying to a job, if you're applying to a school, what is the outcome of what you've produced? You know, you can't say, I tried really hard when I was in school. No, what is your GPA, what is your test scores or whatever, right? But in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's the effort that counts. Because the Prophet ﷺ told us on Yawm al-Qiyamah, some prophets will come with 10 followers, some with 5, some with 2, some with 1, some with 0 followers. Will anybody consider those prophets who come with 1 or 2 followers or 0 followers, you know, unsuccessful? Astaghfirullah, no way. They're going to be in the highest of Firdaus for all of eternity. Why? Because it's that burning desire that counts. It's the effort that counts. Even Nuh lived for 950 years. They said he had anywhere between 7 to 70 followers. Could you imagine graphing that over the course of 950 years? The graph goes like this, doop, 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 right? But that's not what guidance is in the hand of Allah. We just need to put in the effort, you know. And then it's the effort that's rewarded. So in other words, that's another barrier of da'wah that's broken. One of them is, well, I don't know enough. And Allah says, you know plenty. The Prophet said, even if it's one ayah, go share that one ayah. And the other is, well, I tried it for a day or two and it was a little bit unsuccessful, but you know what? Let me end it there. No, it's the effort that's rewarded, not the outcome. The outcome is in the hands of Allah. So in other words, we need to be like Nuh alayhi salam and spend 950 years doing da'wah, you know, if Allah gives us that type of life. But the point is that we have that burning desire. Now the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I'm actually from an organization called Y Islam. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. And Y Islam does a lot of da'wah efforts. It's an organization that specifically focuses on da'wah. And what I wanted to say is that, you know, we're always looking to help people. So if you love to give da'wah, please come and join us. But even if you can't, the one thing that everybody can do is financially contribute to the efforts. You know, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَتُجَاهِدُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ بِأَمْوَالِكُمْ وَأَنفُسِكُمْ. That you strive in the path of Allah with your wealth and yourselves. You know, that even before volunteering is mentioned, put your wealth into it is mentioned first, you know. So inshallah, if you guys, YSM does a lot of good, we have a table outside where we can give more information, but specifically we're collecting funds to support our dawah projects. Recently, last month, we had a project at USC where we set up a table. We distributed over 1,500 Qur'ans to the community there. There was like about 7 shahadas that took place. And we just want more support to do more of these types of efforts. I'm from the San Fernando Valley. This weekend we're going to be working at the swap meet, setting up a table to distribute the message of Islam to people in Spanish. Yeah, and then also we have another effort here in Torrance where the Dawah effort will be happening. So the point is that this organization has, just this weekend, 2 different projects happening. A lot of literature is distributed. Even when we're at USC, one of the ladies came in to us and she said, I'm just really impressed by the type of work that you guys are doing, you know? So the point is that even if you cannot volunteer, please financially contribute. The table will be out there. They can take cash, they can take credit card. Support the efforts of dawah, you know, and inshallah, like, you know, just to kind of keep up with the legacy of the prophets of Allah. Whether it's we have the opportunity to do dawah like Musa did to the most powerful man in the world, or to just simple people like Yusuf alayhi, the whole spectrum is there, and Allah is teaching us to have that desire that the message of Islam gets distributed to the people. Let's go ahead and make dua. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا. ربنا زدنا علما. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم إنا نسألك من فضلك العظيم. اللهم افتح علينا بركات من السماء والأرض. اللهم إنا نسألك حبك وحب من يحبك وحب عمل يقرب إلى حبك. اللهم إنا نسألك لذة النظر إلى وجهك الكريم. اللهم دخلنا في الفردوس الأعلى. اللهم دخلنا في الفردوس الأعلى. اللهم دخلنا في الفردوس الأعلى. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. والحمد لله رب العالمين. وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله يا صلاح يا صلاح يا الفلاح يا الفلاح وإقامة الصلاة وإقامة الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Make sure the lines are straight. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا خالدين فيها لا يبغون عنها حولا. قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفد كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا. قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the khutbah. May Allah accept from brother Naqib Shifa. He's representing Vice Council of California. They have a table outside and they're also having it tomorrow, 2 Dawa booth. One is at San Fernando Valley, another one is at Puran Swap Meet. So if you'd like to sign up, you can go outside and sign up for that. Again, those who have double park outside, please remove your car ASAP so that people can easily go out. No parking at the flower shop plaza. Again, no parking at the rehab center. Please do not park over there. And also do not park at the entrance of the driveways of our neighbors. Inshallah, IIT is presenting the lecture series on small businesses this coming Wednesday. And that will be from Maghrib to Isha. There are 5 lectures series actually. And inshallah, dinner will be served after the lecture. And for more information about the program, please coordinate the program coordinator, Shakil Qazi, will let you know. There is a sign up for that also. If you have received email or WhatsApp link, please go and sign up for that and make yourself registered in their classes. Jazakallah.